So this Undefeated 4 drop, it's starting to get a little bit out of hand. And when you look back at the major sneaker releases that we've seen so far here in 2025, we've had some pretty big ones. Think back to the Union 1 drop. That release was major. We also had the Brick by Bricks from Nigel Sylvester, a sneaker which many people were calling sneaker of the year. And then of course, we got these Undefeated 4s, which out of all the drops, I'm not even gonna lie, this one feels like it's kind of had the most attention. Of course, we had the big EQL raffle, which went live on Monday. Millions of people entered for a chance to be able to get their hands on this Nike Jordan Brand Grail sneaker. And we're all sitting back, just kind of like patiently waiting for the results, or impatiently waiting for the results, which I feel like them drawing out these raffle results like is not a good look, but there may be a rhyme and reason to it, as we're gonna touch on this alleged Undefeated Jordan 4 backdoor conspiracy here in a minute. But to kick things off, we do have some major word for everybody waiting around for the big drop, which is going down on Saturday. Now, rumor has it originally that there was supposed to be like over 100,000 pairs of these. Of course, we got the raffles going down. You got the various in-store drops. So by the time we see a sneakers app release going down on the 28th, who knows how many pairs will be left over. I kind of mentioned that these will be dropping via the sneakers app previously, as Sneaker Files alluded to it, but it looks like we now have more insiders, more of these sneaker accounts confirming the 28th release for the Undefeated 4s via the sneakers app. Now, as far as the way they choose to drop them, we'll have to wait on that. Maybe they'll do it like the Union 1s with exclusive access. They could even do like a sneakers link like we saw with those SB Jordan 4s, which I think that would be a really cool look. But then again, some people don't really like that method. So who knows, maybe we'll just see like a general normal sneakers app drop. But as far as the 28th, mark your calendars, but we will have to kind of wait to see how many pairs are left over, because this one right here is a release which is making a whole lot of noise. Now, we do have a look at the Friends and Family pair right here, which is courtesy of Beach Kicks. So if you guys notice right now, this one has a visibly much darker shade of green. So I would love to know what y'all think about these right here. Of course, you do see the Jumpman present on the back. The material on here also does look interesting. So when you talk about the Friends and Family versus the general release, which the public is going to be getting, I think actually for a rare instance, the general release is probably going to be better looking than the Friends and Family. Now, if you're wondering what's up with this shade and the material, apparently this pair is based on the ballistic Undefeated Jordan 4 samples from 2005. Now, the material on the upper is referred to as Traffic Jam, and this is the very first time the authentic pair of the 2025 Friends and Family Undefeated 4s has surfaced online. So it seems like all the other pairs that we saw previously, I guess, must have been fakes, which kind of opens up a whole nother can of worms when you talk about early looks and fake sneakers and everything like that. But we're not gonna get into that right now. Let me know what you guys think about the sample Friends and Family pair that we see right here. Jumpman on the back, visibly darker shade of green, versus the general release pair, which I feel like they did a great job, you know, dropping these as close to the OG as possible, but of course with some modern improvements as far as the shape and everything, as we've seen the Jordan 4 kind of, you know, make some major changes throughout the years, I think for the better. Now, as far as this conspiracy, we're about to get into alleged. Remember, this is an alleged conspiracy, and anytime you have a major sneaker release such as something like this, there's always going to be those backdoor allegations. Now, remember, with a collaboration such as the Undefeated 4s, of course, Undefeated, they're going to be allocated their amount of stock, which they choose to drop how they please. We're seeing these big EQL raffle, which opened up on Monday. You got the in-store pop-ups. And then for the rest of the stock, it seems like that's all going to go through Nike directly through the sneakers app. Now, this dude right here has an interesting theory, which is starting to pick up some momentum over on Twitter. Well, I don't know if it's a theory or not. I guess you guys will have to judge that. So he said, peep game, resale shops that have them are legit. Most of them will drop them after the second. This rollout was intended for people to make money. If you know, you know. Employee pairs are setting the market right now. 28th is the global release. Sneakers and retailers, more on that soon. So part 2 says, the control of inventory is intentional. The secrecy and the information being low-key is also intentional because it maintains value. I've told 3 sneaker blog specific things with clear instructions, and a third of them violated. Jokes on them. So where's he going with that right here? I know that when you talk about this drop right here, being is that the raffle went live Monday, I don't know why they're drawing this out so long and making people wait for the release. Like, people better get them raffle results ahead of tomorrow's release, because that would be absolutely insane, right? So he then continues on talking about this is a massive opportunity for money for the brand Every neighborhood door, back doors, masses to the resale shops, the same two shops actually. I wonder what those two shops are. He said this is how they expand their business and sustain the lifestyle. Game is game, but these shops pay to play. So I guess what he's saying right here is when you talk about these like kind of smaller neighborhood locations, which back in the day we used to refer to as mom and pop stores, these are the places with Jordan brand accounts, which I guess apparently will have allocation of stock when we talk about these undefeated joints. He's saying that all these neighborhood locations be backdooring and everything like that, and that's the only way that they can really stay afloat. So he then continues on talking about most pairs were clearly going to be online. Why? The largest audience sustains the scope of accessibility being limited because larger pools of consumers keep value high, and thus is the rationale for secondary shops to buy high and sell for higher. All right, so what he's getting at right here is that when you talk about an online drop, it does create more of that scarcity effect, because if people see that these aren't in stores and this drop was only online, it's just only going to cause the resale prices to go up. And now due to the fact that these Undefeated has the stock, employees have the stock, and then all the resellers which got early pairs, they're the ones setting the market right now, which is why we're seeing prices ranging from like $500-600 up to $1,000 a piece. So a story in 2 videos. If you know the difference in these numbers in Origins, DM me. So he's got I guess an Undefeated employee right here rocking the shirt, and then you got the various pairs right here all boxed up. And I guess these are straight from the factory. This is how they come. So this is kind of wild. But again, when you talk about a sneaker like this with so much resale value, could it be an opportunity for Undefeated to inflate the resale price ahead of the major launch? There is apparently a lot of pairs to go around, but it feels like a lot of pairs haven't hit the streets. And the only pairs that could have actually hit the streets so far are the ones that people won from the in-store pop-ups, and then I guess the pairs that have been backdoored. And as we've seen a lot of pairs actually sold early. I mean, remember Seth Fowler, he dropped $1,500 on a pair for an early look. So when you talk about this dude right here, he actually is followed by some big people here in the sneaker community. And as far as his bio, this dude Quan Wick, it says past Nike and Vox Media. So who really knows? But I thought it was an interesting conspiracy to bring up. And when we talk about resale prices, you do have these monitors, these dudes monitoring the resale value via the secondary market, where Uncle Chrissy chimed in talking about the drop is finally here and prices will drop hard, but it's going to take time. After the Undefeated drops this weekend, we should see prices in the 500s. So that's still crazy to me. Then they'll stabilize and maybe even creep back up. By the time the sneakers app drop happens, we should see them settle under $350, if not lower. Just be patient. So I guess that would be a lot more reasonable for people that missed out, you know, if they do have to bite that resale bullet. But as far as these early prices, it seems like a lot of these resellers and the backdoor shenanigans are kind of dictating the price that we've seen right now when you talk about these Undefeated 4s. So will it drop as low as $350? I think that's a good guess. And as far as the sneakers app drop, which it looks like is now being confirmed by a lot of big people, how will they decide to drop these? Will it be a first come, first serve, a little mini raffle window? Will we get a sneakers link, exclusive access? Who knows? But there's still a lot of questions surrounding this release, a lot of greed, a lot of people trying to make top dollar on these joints right here, which I'm not gonna lie, it feels like as far as attention, this is the most attention that we've seen as far as any sneakers drop this year. So let me know what y'all think down below. Do you guys feel like there's any truth to this conspiracy? And as far as the raffle results, I know we're all sitting back waiting, but hey, it's Friday now. These joints ended on Wednesday. People entered on Monday. I'm sure there was millions of entries. Can we get some type of update? EQL, Undefeated, like what's going on? Let me know what y'all think. JATV, I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Love.